updates.
An extremely large brush fire continues to burn in Cedar Park. One apartment building, a total loss tonight, and a number of residents have been forced to evacuate.
About a half hour ago, we got an update from officials in Cedar Park, and at last check, this is a 4-alarm fire. They're not sure how many people have been evacuated so far, but they do know one apartment building was destroyed, 2 others damaged. Officials say firefighters were able to stop this fire before it reached houses to the north of this area.
The lives that have been saved tonight and the lives that have been protected tonight was because of the Cedar Park Fire Department and the Cedar Park Police Department's rapid response into every other agency that jumped in and helped out.
Now, we do have team coverage tonight with Ford Sanders and Darenisha Heron, both reporting from Williamson County. Let's start it out with you, Ford. Ford, what are you seeing out there where you are?
Quita, we got here just after 7 o'clock tonight. When we pulled up, these flames were massive. They were jumping over the top of that apartment complex. And even right now, there's still that red hue. These firefighters are still actively working to get those flames put out. We want to pop up some video that we actually got earlier today. Like I said, we got here just after 7. You can see those flames raging as firefighters worked for hours to try and put them out. We were also able to get near where some of that fire had subsided for a moment. And the entirety of the brush behind this apartment complex, it is burnt up to a crisp. Flames, though, have made it to the top of one of those apartment buildings, and firefighters have focused their efforts on getting it put out as it has continued to spread. Now, we did speak with a neighbor who says their exact unit is directly in line of where those flames have been scorching.
So I just parked outside the apartment complex, and then I went inside the apartment complex trying to get to my actual apartment. And as I was getting there, the fire department men was already kind of telling people to, like, you gotta go, you gotta go. So I still was walking towards my apartment, wasn't necessarily paying attention to what they were saying. And as I got to my door, like, I literally saw the fire, like, coming up on the rail, and it was kind of where you saw me the picture, it was like right there. And so, like, at that point, the fireman was like, hey, you gotta go right now. So I just pretty much just left and just called my wife and told her, like, hey, like, just say a prayer.
We also heard from a couple other neighbors tonight. They confirmed to me that this fire has spread. It's moved over to Whitestone Boulevard as well, which is just a block down from where we are here on Colonial. Like we said, we had that presser also from officials not long ago, and you heard that at the beginning of the show. One of those buildings is a total loss, 2 of those damaged, but we do have team coverage tonight. I want to go ahead and toss it over to KVUE's Darenisha Heron. Darenisha, I know you actually got to chat with some other neighbors tonight. You've been hearing what they're saying. What's that reaction been tonight as we hear about this fire?
Ford, as you know, residents are just standing around hoping for some good news, hoping that their belongings are okay. I have 12-year-old Devin here with me. He was able to escape the fire at this apartment complex. Devin, can you tell me, and you guys, Devin is 12 years old, can you tell me what you saw, what you heard, and how did you know a fire had broken out?
Basically what happened was my mom called me to show me some stuff, and then I heard the word fire. So I went outside to go check. And then I saw dead smoke, so I didn't think it was going to get any bigger. I thought it was just going to be over. By the time my mom came back home, the fire had already gotten bigger. So then she told me to come back outside, go to the shopping market, lock the door, and then go to the traffic light over there, and then come meet them over here.
What did you see when you left the house? Did you see other people trying to escape as well?
Yeah, I saw other people. I saw kids crying. I saw a couple of dogs run loose.
What were you feeling in that moment?
I was feeling calm. I was always taught to just be calm under pressure from my grandpa. So I just didn't think nothing of it.
Well, that's great.
I did what I was instructed to.
That's awesome, Devin. Thank you so much, and I'm hoping that your place was not impacted in all of this. I was also able to speak with 2 other people. They did not live in this apartment complex, but they live in the neighborhood in this area, and they too saw smoke and flames near their homes.
I just happened to look out my window and saw smoke and saw right across maybe two condos up, flames, big flames. No announcements. There was a ring alert that from some neighbor somewhere that said, does anybody know why there's so many alarms going off? That's all I saw, and that's why I looked out the window. But it seemed a little chaotic, and there weren't a lot of fire departments there just yet, but there were plenty of condos on fire.
Around 6:30, we started to smell fire, and we are backed up to East Whitestone Boulevard, and we started to smell fire inside our house, my son and I, and then I looked in the front I opened the front of my house, and that's when all the police and firemen were like telling everybody to evacuate, and my bushes caught on fire. And it was kind of heading north, I think. This is coming from the apartments, I guess, behind the subdivision, which is about 200 people, I think. And then it was just spreading all over the grasses and stuff. And so then I just grabbed my purse, my son, and my 4 dogs and got out.
Just very scary scenes for everyone in this area. And as you can see, I don't know if you saw my hair blowing earlier, but it's very windy out here. So I know that's not helping this wildfire. So it's going to be a long night out here in Cedar Park, guys. Back to you all in the studio.
You could see that wind blowing. Boy, that's tough. Darrenisha Herron, Ford Sanders, both live for us in Cedar Park tonight. Senior reporter Tony Plahetsky joins us here in the studio tonight. You've been talking with officials. Still a lot of work to do tonight.
Absolutely, and this was a full-scale mobilization of an array of emergency officials this evening. Brian and Quita, I want to point out that the Texas A&M Forest Service is saying that this fire is 120 acres, and as of this tweet just minutes ago, they report that it is 0% contained. So now we want to bring in Judge Bill Gravel. He is the top executive of Williamson County, the top leader of Williamson County. Judge Gravel, we were just saying that the Texas A&M Forest Service says that this fire, as it stands right now, a little bit after 10 p.m., is 0% contained. Can you just verify that that is correct, or describe what is being done to fully contain this blaze?
Well, Tony, I would tell you that there are over 150 firefighters that are out here at the scene tonight, and over 50 law enforcement officers, and they literally have been working tirelessly since 6:30 or 7 when the call first came in. The number of acres that are currently under fire, I can't confirm for you, but I will tell you the greatest concern that I have tonight as the chief executive for Williamson County is we are really facing stiff winds out here. I can also confirm with you that one of the buildings is caught on fire again. Look, our firefighters are working hard. They're working tirelessly. We have all of the local resources. We have state resources here, and even the governor's staff has communicated with us. And we have Forestry Service personnel that are literally cutting a trench around the part of the fire that's a grass fire. But we have ongoing structure fires and we have ongoing grass fires tonight.
So clearly underscoring that this is an ongoing and very dangerous situation. Do you anticipate, as this night bears on, that you will require other evacuations of nearby areas?
You know, the one thing I do want to say is that the fire chief and the police chief from Cedar Park have done an amazing job. We've used reverse 911 on multiple occasions to evacuate hundreds of residents, whether they're in apartments or condos or homes. And so they'll continue to use those tools tonight that we need. Again, we've got firefighters in scenes working really hard, law enforcement around the perimeter. And really, Tony, the sad reality is I see people walking out with just a few things on their back and a pet in their hand and tears on their face. So we've got, folks that have lost something or all, or they're just fearful because they don't know what they have lost. I would like to mention, if I could, that the American Red Cross is set up at the Walmart, and I believe the address is 2801 East Whitestone here in the city of Cedar Park. And any residents that don't have a place to lay their head tonight, I'd encourage you to go over there. And just know that our forces are working really hard to protect. And guys, we have assets from not only Williamson County, but Travis County. And I even saw an ambulance earlier from Nacogdoches that's on the firefighter task force. And as of right now, Tony, we've got firefighters from the city or from Westlake that are manning the fire stations here in Cedar Park for the regular calls. So it's an understatement to say all hands on deck. I've never seen this many personnel at a fire. It's a major structure fire and a major grass fire.
But it's a fire that I know emergency responders for quite some time have trained for. Can you just talk about, leading up to this fire this evening, how firefighters and other emergency crews have prepared over many years for something like this to potentially happen?
Yeah, I know to the residents, they're watching this, and it's a horrible news story and the loss of property. But there are a couple of things I want to celebrate. We have no recorded loss of life thus far. But the reason our men have been successful and our women have been successful, and please understand, I don't know what the weather is right now, but it feels like it's 20, 25, 30 mile an hour winds. And these firefighters have practiced together, they've trained together, they've drilled together. And so they do that locally. And the chief here in Cedar Park is running that incident command. But he has over 20 different agencies that are here. You have the Forestry Service that shows up. They begin to dig trenches around that. Tony, you also have Starflight, who has spent a great deal of time here dropping water on the scene. The air flight, because of the wind and the darkness, have shut down tonight. I'm confident that it will flare up again in the morning and we'll have air resources here. But our folks train and they prepare and they work together. And it's really amazing to see them all work. But listen, do not miss this. Our men and women are doing dangerous work tonight, and their lives are in jeopardy and risk. And so if folks can stay away from the area, because every individual that shows up to look or take a picture or fly a drone, we suddenly have to pull law enforcement off or firefighters off to manage the folks that want to be here. Let our men and women do their job. And they're doing an amazing job tonight in really horrible weather conditions.
Judge Gravel, we appreciate your time so much, for you spending a little bit of your precious minutes here with us on KVUE. We know that you have a long night ahead and appreciate everything that everyone is doing there to protect the lives and property of the people of Williamson County. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, Central Texas, for caring.
Brian Aquita.
All right, thanks, senior reporter Tony Plahetsky. Thank you so much.